सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Repeat once. Om Namo Narayanaya. 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 Humble prostrations to one and all present. Our general invocation prayer is Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinau Avadhitam Astu Ma Vidvishavahai. So in all our classes we start with this invocation prayer. So therefore, as teachers, we must know the meaning of it and we must practice it also. Because this is a beautiful invocation prayer fit for any beginning of any study. So the teacher and the students, they are praying together. Om. Om is the name of the Lord in the Vedas. Om. What is the first line? Sahana Bhavatu. Remember, it is not Sahana Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Purnam Bhavatu. So very many times our teachers, they chant Sahana Bhavatu. It is not Sahana Bhavatu. It is Sahana Vavatu. Va. If you split it, it becomes Sahanau Avatu. Avatu. Protect. O Lord, please, Naha, us, saha, together. Avatu, protect. O Lord, please protect both of us. Sahanau avatu. What is the second one? Sahanau bhunaktu. O Lord, bhunaktu. Bhogam, enjoyment. May we enjoy this very process of learning. May we enjoy. It should not be a boring thing. So the students are also enjoying the process of learning, and the teachers are also enjoying the process of teaching. May both of us enjoy this process. In other subjects, we don't know whether enjoyment is possible or not. But since we are talking of spiritual matters, there has to be enjoyment. Because in spiritual learning, we are training ourselves to think right. Right way of living, right way of thinking, right understanding about life. So what is the law regarding thoughts? As your thoughts, so will be the state of your mind. This is the law. If the thoughts are good and noble, my mind will be very peaceful. If the thoughts are ignoble, impure, negative, mind will be disturbed. So when we are learning this spiritual thing, we are trained to think right. Noble thoughts are being discussed. So naturally what should happen? Our mind becomes cheerful. Our mind becomes peaceful. We are energized. So after the class, mind feels very light. There is cheerfulness. It is all because what we are learning is a way to think right. Good, noble, divine, sacred thoughts are being entertained. So therefore the result of this entertainment of good thoughts, discussion of good thoughts must be enjoyment, which is experienced as a cheerful mind. Sahano bhunaktu, O Lord, may we enjoy this very process of learning. What is the next one? Sahaviryam karavavahi. O Lord, may both of us put forth effort, viryam. Saha, together. May both of us put forth effort. So the students must be putting forth effort in trying to understand. What is the effort of the teacher? The teachers are putting forth effort to make the concepts clear. So both of them are putting forth effort. Now, as a teacher, when children are not able to understand something, what should be the attitude of the teacher? There are two attitudes possible. There are two attitudes possible. Attitude number one, the children are useless. That is why they are not able to understand anything. My teaching is perfect. Because children are useless, they are not able to understand. Attitude number two, my teaching is not good. That is why children are not able to understand. So which attitude should the teachers have? First one or second one? Second one, always. If the children in front of me are not able to understand, then it is my fault. If the children in front of me are yawning, it is my fault. I am not making the topics interesting. There are different ways of teaching. My teaching style is not good. I must improve myself. I must improve my teaching skills. If this is the attitude taken, then you will find then the teacher grows. You see. But if the teacher's attitude is children are useless, modern children are all, they are not, they are distracted, not showing any interest. Their interests are in so many places. They have no interest in this. If this is the attitude, then the teacher will never grow. So if we have to grow, our attitude should be, what should be our attitude? All the imperfection is in me. So then what will happen? All the creative ideas starts coming. Innovative ideas come. How to make the subjects simple. How to come down to the level of the students. To the extent the teacher can come down to the level of the student and make it simple, understandable, that is the glory of the teacher. So as teachers, we must always strive for that. How to make even the most complicated things simple, easy to digest, assimilate. This is the glory of the teacher. And you will always find such teachers are always loved by all children, revered by all children, respected by all children. To the extent the teacher tries his or her level best to connect to the children, to that extent the children will love you. Sahaviryam karavavahai. Again, effort is not just in teaching, effort is also in transforming oneself. So the next step, tejasvinau avadhitam astu. Whatever we learn, avadhitam, tejasvi bhavatu. Whatever we have learned, let this knowledge be tejasvi. Tejasvi means what? Bright and brilliant. Let this knowledge be bright and brilliant in us. When does the knowledge become bright and brilliant? Number one, when I understand what is being taught. Number two, when I am able to remember it. Number three, when I am able to apply this knowledge. And number four, when this knowledge transforms me. So the 4 stages. So number one, I am able to understand it. Number two, I am able to remember it. Number three, I am able to apply it. And number four, I am transformed by it. 4 stages. Then we say this knowledge has become tejasvi. Many times what happens, knowledge is understood, but I am not putting it into practice. I am not applying it. I have not been transformed by it. So that will be like the seed put on a rock. Nothing happens, it is there. So as Pujya Gurudev used to say, merely putting sugar into the coffee is not enough. The sugar should get dissolved in the coffee, isn't it? So what is the proof that sugar has been dissolved into the coffee? The coffee tastes sweet. In the same way, merely gathering information, data from the scriptures will not do. We have to try to live it. We have to practice it. And as a result of practice, what happens to our personality? Our Personality becomes a sweet personality. Otherwise, we are preaching, oh, preaching, but nothing is happening to us. Personality should change. The way to handle situations, how I am handling different situations, how peacefully I am handling, how cheerfully I am handling, confidently I am handling, effortlessly I am handling. That depends on how much the knowledge has been assimilated. Tejasvinau avadhitam astu. So here, whatever as teachers we are teaching, merely teaching will not do. We should also try to live these values, whatever we teach. Then there is a subtle power in our words, which can bring about a transformation into the minds of the children who are listening. There is some connection. If the person is talking something which he doesn't practice, those words generally are powerless. But the more and more a person lives whatever he teaches, that person's words carry some kind of subtle divine power. Right. So therefore, Tejasvinau avadhitam astu. Whatever we study, may this knowledge be Tejasvi in us. May this knowledge transform us, make us a better person. And the last one is Ma vidvishavahai. May we not hate each other. So the whole teaching should happen in an environment of love, peace, harmony. The teacher has to ensure this. Ma vidvishavahai. Just not hating alone will not do. Positively, there should be an environment of love. Generally, the tendency of the teachers will be to show more affection towards children who are bright, brilliant. It's a normal human tendency. We have to be very careful about that. In our class, we will have all kinds of children. Some are not very bright. They take time to understand. Not well behaved, harsh in their behavior, fickle in their character, disturbed in their state of mind. So the general tendency is to ignore them, be harsh with them, be partial towards them. So we have to be very careful. Those children who are weak, who are not able to focus much, not well behaved, there should be a little more love for them, more compassion for them. This we have to pay a little more attention to. Bright children, anyway, they will learn. Other children, they need a little more attention, care, love, consideration. So therefore, the whole environment should be, the teaching environment should be an environment of love. Right. So this is a beautiful invocation prayer. Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sahaviryam garavavahai, tejasvinau avadhitam astu, ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. Next topic. Next topic is what to teach. So 3 topics we'll take up. What to teach, why to teach and how to teach. Where to teach, when to teach, not necessary. So the first topic, what to teach. The most important thing which we must teach our children is hold on to God. The most important teaching. There is somebody with you who loves you. There is somebody with you who has infinite love for you, who is ever paying attention to you, whether you know it or not, like it or not, accept it or not. Remember the ICU, intensive care unit. The whole world is an ICU, intensive care unit. What is intensive care unit? Every one of us are intensely taken care by the Lord. He knows everything about us, what we need, we are at what stage of evolution. He knows it, and accordingly He is providing us. So therefore, our greatest priority in life should be never to forget His presence, never to be ungrateful to Him, never disregard Him, never ignore Him. In fact, this is the message of the whole of Bhagavad Gita. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhyacha. All the time remember me and perform your duties. So this is what we have to teach our children. Through every lesson, finally everything should boil down to this. Turn to God. If you don't turn to God, you are the loser. There is an infinite source of energy, infinite source of inspiration, infinite source of knowledge, infinite source of strength, infinite source of power. It is always with you. If you ignore that presence, yours is the loss. All tension, depression, worry, anxiety, stress is only because you are not paying attention to what you have. Just like a wave in the ocean, when it only pays attention to itself, then it becomes worried. But the moment its attention goes to where it is seated, this little wave is seated in infinite ocean, then all the fear vanishes. In the same way, we are all seated upon that infinite Lord who is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. So our main purpose of our teaching should be to direct their attention upon the Lord. And what is the purpose of life? Purpose of life is to please Him. Our Creator must be happy with us. And when is He happy with us? Only when we walk the path of righteousness, goodness, virtues, values. So this is the question which always we must ask ourselves. Is my Bhagavan happy with me? Am I doing something wrong which is displeasing Him? This is the question we must ask. So if this way we are obedient children of the Lord, then what will happen? His grace will flow, His love will flow, His affection will flow, His blessings will flow. All these things will flow effortlessly, and with His grace and blessings, we will be able to handle all situations in life, problems in life, difficulties in life easily. This is the message of that Hanumanji story. Hanumanji, nothing is impossible for Hanumanji. Crossing the ocean, lifting the mountain, killing hundreds and thousands of Rakshasas, everything was just a cakewalk. Why? Because infinite Lord was with him. This is not only the story of Hanumanji, this is equally true with us also. If Bhagwan's grace and blessing is with us, then nothing is impossible. If this message you can give to our Bala Vihar children, you have done your job as a teacher. Because literally you are making the child independent. Because all the time we cannot be with the children. It is like, if you give a fish to a person, there is a saying, if you give a fish, then for the time being you have satiated his hunger. But if you teach him fishing, rest of his life, So in the same way, if you can instill this one value, God is always with you, live a life in tune to Him. If this teaching is given, our purpose as Balvias teachers is done. So this is the answer to which question? What to teach? How to teach? You live and show. That's the only way. You have to live. You should be a role model in front of your children. So how should be a devotee? A devotee is a very cheerful person, ever happy, ever content, never complaining, never grumbling, never irritated, never yelling, never shouting. Cheerful, happy. Right? So this is how to teach. So children should see, yes, here is a person who is connected to God and is so different from the rest of the crowd. So when you live it, be a role model, setting an example in front of children, then that is the way to teach. The third one, why to teach? Why should we teach this? We should teach this because, for two reasons. Number one, we are benefited by teaching because the law of this cosmos is whatever you give it to others, it will come to you. This is the most valuable lesson which I want it for myself. So therefore, when I teach our kids this value, as per the cosmic law, it gets into me. I become a great devotee of Bhagavan. My relationship with Bhagavan improves, becomes strong, gets intensified. So why to teach with respect to me is so that I can grow in my devotion. Why to teach for children? We should teach our children because this knowledge is not available anywhere else. In the schools, in the colleges, they don't get this. And this is the most important knowledge in life. If you have this, you will ever be happy everywhere. If you don't have this, there is only misery. Whatever you may be, how much ever creative and talented you may be, brilliant you may be, if you don't have this, you don't have anything. That is why, if you see the Puranas, Prahalada, when he was in Gurukula, who are the teachers of Prahalada? Shanda and Amarka. They were the children of Shukracharya. So Hiranyakashipu has told, there is a syllabus. In the Asura Gurukula, what is the syllabus? The syllabus is Dharma, Artha, Kama. That's it. How to fulfill your desires? Dharma is there because, unless you are good, you will not be able to win the confidence of your customers. That sense. That's all dharma is. One thing which was absolutely missing was devotion for God. All materialistic signs were taught to them. This is exactly what is happening today also. Hiranyakashipu means the ones whose attention is only upon Hiranya, gold. Isn't it true? that in today's world also our education is equally third grade? Education means bread-winning education, money-making education. So Prahlada understood that this is not the kind of education which should be given. But he was silent because he had no other choice. But whenever the teachers would go out, Shanda and Amarka, whenever they go, he would immediately call all the children. Hey, come here. I will teach you something. And then he would start discourses on devotion. How we must hold on to God alone. How we must hold on to God. And these children, because they were all pure-hearted ones, it is said there that they would just get absorbed in meditation, in concentration upon the Lord. This is what is said there. You see? So this is what we also have to do. Exactly what Prahlada did in that Asura Gurukula, this is exactly what we also have to do. Okay? So this is why to teach. Now that a teacher has come late, I must tell that also. Unless we are on time, what kind of example are we setting in front of our children? If we ourselves are setting a wrong example, how can we inspire our children in walking the right path? You know that there is a teacher's session, and still you are coming at this time. As a teacher, are we supposed to do this? I'm sorry if you are hurt, but I have to tell you this. I don't know whether you are a teacher or not. First step is we have to change. Whatever we are teaching, let us try to practice. Unless we practice this, we will never be able to bring a transformation in the hearts of our children. So with this, my time is over. Now you can have any question. Hari Om.
Hari Om, thanks for coming. Swamiji, thank you. I'll open it up for questions. Any questions from here first? Swamiji, I'll start. I wonder if you could comment, Swamiji can comment on just the importance of, we meet as teachers every morning on Sundays before Bala Vihar starts. With your experience, Swamiji's experience at other centers, the importance of that, attending those things, doing things as a group and how that inspires each other. If Swamiji could consider.
What is it? Importance of?
The importance of teacher satsang, meeting as a group so that the teachers can uplift and inspire each other. If you could comment on the importance of that.
Importance of teacher coming together and having satsang. It's absolutely essential. So see, unless we attend satsang, so the question is why the teacher should attend satsang? See, unless we attend the satsang, we will never have the right guidance. Our scriptures are called Manual of Right Living. So whenever we use a device, what do? We study the instruction manual. So first we study the instruction manual. And where is this instruction manual coming from? Any instruction manual comes from the manufacturer. Because only the manufacturer of the device knows how to use the device. Isn't it? So what are the do's and don'ts? So first thing, we don't directly enter into the device. We first read the instruction manual and then use the device. In the same way, this life is very, very complicated. Body is complicated, mind is complicated, intellect is complicated, world is complicated. In this complicated world, to live intelligently in such a way that we are creative, we are inspired, we are peaceful, we are cheerful. To live intelligently, guidance is necessary. And guidance cannot come from some people. It has to come from the Lord Himself, who has created the world and who has created each and every one of us. So that guidance from the Lord is what we call as scriptures. So scriptures are called manual of right living. As teachers, we must have access to the knowledge of the scriptures. And the place where we get access to this knowledge of the scriptures, that place is called Satsang. So as teachers, we must gain the knowledge of the scriptures. Only then our teaching can be effective. So therefore, Satsang play a very important role.
Thank you, Swamiji. South Hills has a question.
South Hills, are you talking? Monroeville, can you talk?
Monroeville? In the meantime, are there questions from here? Go back to South Hills and Monroeville in a moment.
Hari Om Swamiji, this may be a silly question, but apologies for that. Even though most of us, majority of us, when we do things like teaching or when we do seva, it is always accompanied with the feeling that that is the best way to do it because of our ego, right? Everyone tends to think that what they do is the best way to do it. So I think I'm asking a question about how to get rid of ego, but are there any tips that Swamiji can share that all of us can step outside of ourselves and look at other ways and be receptive to accepting other ways of doing things and thereby giving that team feeling rather than that sense of I-ness, Swamiji?
So we know the problem and we know the solution. Maybe indirectly you are speaking to them through me. Very true. If as a team we have to do a good work, there should not be any ego at all. So our attitude should be, I have a suggestion, but if there is somebody else who is giving a better suggestion, I must have that large-heartedness to drop my suggestion and to take up somebody else's suggestion. This is called as egolessness. Remember, our greatest enemy is not somebody else. Our greatest enemy is our own ego. Atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu, atmaiva ripuratmanaha. So therefore, we have to be very alert about this ego. This ego will creep in everywhere. The ego will make us compare with others, make us miserable when we are not performing better. This ego will somehow make us assert ourselves. The ego will make us not see the goodness in others. The ego will make us see only the flaws in others, defects in others. So this is what happens when our heart is ruled by the ego. We have to be very, very careful. And you will always find that most of our hurt feelings come from ego only. So therefore, as a true spiritual seeker, whenever the mind is disturbed, whenever there is some hurt feeling, look within. Whenever we are hurt, never say, this person has hurt me. Instead say, I have a huge ego because of which I am hurt. If this is the way we handle all issues, then you will find that you start growing. You see, always say, I am at fault. If I am disturbed, I am wrong. This is the Maha Mantra. If I am disturbed, I am wrong. Then you will grow very fast in life. So this has to be, each and everyone should work on oneself. If you, in fact, this world is designed that way. Another definition of ICU is eye-crushing university. This world is an ICU. What is the earlier definition I had given? Intensive care unit. The another definition of this world is eye-crushing university. This world is designed to crush our ego. Now there are two ways. Either you can crush it yourself, but if you don't crush it yourself, you try to bloat it, make it bigger and bigger, nourish it, fatten it, then the world is designed to crush it. Have you seen these huge machines with monstrous teeth rotating? And whatever you put in it, everything becomes powder and comes down. This university is like that. Our big egos get crushed. And when the universe crushes it, it is very painful. So the wisest thing is, let me crush it myself. The more and more I crush my ego, the more and more peaceful I will be in life. The more and more I dissolve my ego, efface my ego, my vision also becomes very clear. Otherwise, my vision will be a colored vision, a partial vision, a defective vision. So by always, as we are in this field of seva, let us ensure that this seva is, on the other hand, dissolving this ego. Let us not make this seva a means to fatten the ego. Let us make this seva a means to dissolve our ego. The only one entity which is standing between myself and God is this ego. There's a very famous quote of Puja Gurudev. Renounce your ego is the only request from God. Renounce your ego is the only request from God. I will make you God is the promise. Renounce your ego is the only request from God. I will make you God is the promise. So this is all what we need to do in life. Let me puncture the ego, deflate the ego whenever it raises its hood. Right? Okay.
Ganesh from South Hills.
Hariam Swamiji, this is Ganesh
Ah.
from South Hills. Any thoughts, Swamiji, on how to give healthy feedback between teachers and between administrators and teachers? Any thoughts on that, Swamiji?
How to give healthy feedback? Just give.
Yeah. Yeah, that way people don't get hurt.
Okay, that way. Yes. See, there is something called Vangmaya Tapas, austerity at the speech level. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. Austerity at the level of speech. What are the factors which we have to keep in mind? Number one, anudvegakaram. How we must speak. Anudvegakaram. Words which are non-agitating. Anudvegakaram. Number two, satyam. Speak the truth. Number three, priyam. Speak it sweetly. Number four, hitam. Speak that which is beneficial. So these are the four things we must keep in mind when we speak. Number one, non-agitating. Number two, it should be truthful. Number three, should be Sweet, priyam, and number 4, it should be hitam, beneficial. All the 4 you may not be able to satisfy all the time, at least 3. If you do it, then that is called as austerity in speech. So these are the factors which you have to take when we give feedback. Ganesh Maharaj, did I answer? Okay.
Question
Monroeville.
from Monroeville?
Swamiji, a question from Monroeville. Can Swamiji speak about the importance of Bhagavad Gita chanting during our Bala Vihar assembly and classes?
Why should we chant Bhagavad Gita? I heard a story. I'm sure you must know it. So there was this grandfather. The same question was asked by a grandchild to this grandpa. Why should I chant Bhagavad Gita? I am not able to understand anything. So this grandfather gave one basket. That basket used to be, it was used for carrying charcoal. So he said, go down to the river, get some water in it and come back. So it was an empty basket, but it was all black inside. Because grandpa was gardening, so he wanted water for the plants. So he said, go down, get water. So it was a hilly area. So this child went with that basket, went to the river, filled that basket with water, and he would come. But as he would come, because of the holes in the basket, all the water would drain away. By the time he would reach grandpa, it's all empty. Grandpa would say, again go down. The fellow will go again. 2-3 times he did it. He said, what is the use? I'm not able to get any water. Now grandfather said, now look into the basket. How it was and how it is. No doubt you were not able to bring any water, but see how clean it has become. So this is the same answer for this also. When you chant Bhagavad Gita, whether you understand it or not, some samskaras have fallen in the mind and your mind becomes pure. Whether you understand, because that is the power of the slokas written by Mahatmas like Vedavyasa Rishi. Mere chanting is enough. Forget about chanting. Even mere listening is enough. The mind is elevated. Mind is purified. Lot of divine samskaras fall into the mind. So therefore, in this regard, chanting is very, very useful. Yes.
Yes. One question from North Hills.
Swamiji, so a lot of teachers have younger families, but at the same time, doing seva, being a teacher is a privilege above all else. So how do parents of younger kids prioritize their duties toward their kids, but more importantly also prioritize time for seva, time for everything that they need to do to maintain this privilege of being a teacher or anything else that they devote their time to?
See, first of all, I must understand the importance of seva. This cosmos has certain laws. And one law is, more and more you give to this cosmos, the cosmos starts blessing you in turn. This is a law. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyaf param avapsyatha ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha dasyante yajna bhavitaha. This is what Bhagavad Gita says. So whatever I have, talents, abilities, time, energy, knowledge, when I start sharing with the cosmos, with everyone, with yajna bhava, oh God, you have given me all this. May I share with everyone. And may I be a contributor of happiness in others' lives. Devan bhaveta anena. You worship the cosmic forces with whatever you have. Then the cosmic forces will in turn bless you. It will give you everything. So this is a glory of seva. My own family, my children, my wife, my husband, my kid, fine, that's okay. But a person who can, share whatever is there with this society through seva, there is an unseen cosmic force which blesses that person. So this knowledge we must always have. So the more and more I express my gratitude by serving the totality, the samashti starts blessing me. It's a great truth. It's called as, in chapter 3 it comes. So therefore it is our responsibility that yes, we have to take care of our family, but also there is a responsibility. Every evolved, mature person will feel this responsibility that I must share something with this society also, whatever I have. So then I am more blessed when I do this. I automatically attract a conducive environment around me, a protective force around me, a layer around me. When I think big, not just thinking about my family, but thinking of the whole society. The bigger your thinking is, the more blessings flow to you from the cosmos. So this understanding must be there. Then seva becomes automatic. Right.
Swamiji, can we ask one more question from Monroeville?
Yes.
Hari Om Swamiji, my name is Usha in the Monroeville Center. I'm blessed because I'm also at the receiving end because 3 of my kids are in the Bala Vihar session. But I'm lucky that I'm happy being a teacher and learning and growing. My question is, when you have kids, going through this Bala Vihar process, and we're hoping that they understand the right path of life, but when they get swayed, moved away, not moved away, like sometimes sway from the path of dharma, how do you reconcile? I know Swamiji has emphasized over the last week, we can only improve ourselves and grow, and set an example. What more can we do? Is it nature, or am I not nurturing enough? So this is more of a parent question than the teacher question for me. So you can guide me.
Amma, as parents, our job is like a gardener. What does the gardener do? That gardener expose the plant to sunlight, to manure, to water. That's all you need to do as a parent. Parent is a person who is just an instrument in the hands of the Lord to take care of His children. Never forget this. You are not here to take care of your children. You are just an instrument, a caretaker in the hands of the Lord. Every child is His child, Bhagavan's child. You are just a caretaker. Many times what happens is we forget God and we become the we become the whole and soul. This is where the problem arises. So therefore, just like a gardener, let us expose our children to everything good, everything noble. How much they are absorbing, let us leave it to them. Their samskaras, we don't know what journey they have gone through, at what stage of evolution they are, we don't know. So pour water to the plant, don't inject water into the plant. What is the difference between pouring and injecting? While injecting, you are forcing your way. This is where tension comes. This is where the relationship between parent and the child is strained. Something you like and you are trying to force it down the throat of the child. Don't do that. Just expose the child. Maybe the child is not in a frame of mind to absorb it, but definitely a time will come when the child will come back. Because whenever you take the wrong path, the law of this cosmos is you will suffer. Whenever you deviate from righteousness, you will suffer. That is how the cosmos is designed. So therefore, just provide the right teaching. A time will come when the child will come back after getting kicks from the world. But at that time, this teaching must be available. Just like food, let the child go around, run, work hard. A time will come when the child will be hungry. You just keep the food ready. Don't force feed the child. This is all what you have to do as a parent. Amma, I hope I have answered your question.
Thank you,
Yes,
Swamiji.
thank you, Swamiji.
Pranams, Swamiji. Thank you so much for addressing the teachers. And I think that's it for this questions for South Hills, Monroeville. We'll get back on at 10:35 for a story and then also the adult satsang. Thank you so much.
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.